Hello everyone, you're on the channel Who Created It and How. Today we're diving into a world of timeless beauty and incredible skill. A world where raw, heavy stone is transformed into breathtaking works of art. Have you ever stood before a marble statue, like Michelangelo's David or the Venus de Milo, and just wondered, how? How did a human hand, centuries ago, turn a solid block of rock into something so delicate, so lifelike, so perfect? Well, you're in the right place, because today we are pulling back the curtain on the ancient and awe-inspiring art of marble carving. The journey from a rugged mountain quarry to a polished museum masterpiece is a long and fascinating one. It all begins deep within the earth. Marble isn't just any old rock, it's a metamorphic rock, which means it started its life as limestone. Over millions of years, immense heat and pressure deep within the Earth's crust cooked and squeezed the limestone, causing its calcite crystals to recrystallize and grow larger, interlocking like a complex puzzle. This process is what gives marble its characteristic crystalline structure, and of course its unique ability to be carved and hold a brilliant polish. The most famous quarries in the world, like those in Carrara, Italy, have been supplying artists with this precious material for thousands of years. Just imagine, the very same mountains that provided the stone for the Pantheon in ancient Rome are still being quarried today. Once a suitable block is chosen and extracted from the quarry, a massive undertaking in itself involving heavy machinery, or in ancient times, immense manual labor with wedges and levers, the real artistic journey begins. The first step for the sculptor is the vision. Before a single chip is made, the artist has a clear idea in their mind, often captured in smaller clay or plaster models called maquettes. These models act as a three-dimensional blueprint, allowing the artist to work out the composition, the pose, and the proportions before committing to the unforgiving stone. With the model as a guide, the next stage is called roughing out. This is the heavy lifting of the carving process. The goal here is to remove large, unwanted chunks of marble to get the general shape of the final piece. In ancient times, sculptors used a tool called a point chisel, which is a simple, pointed steel tool, and a heavy mallet. By striking the chisel with the mallet at the right angle, they could break off significant pieces of stone. It's a loud, dusty, and physically demanding process. The sculptor is essentially finding the statue that's hiding inside the block. A single wrong move, a strike too deep, could shatter a crucial part of the stone and ruin months or even years of work. It requires a deep understanding of the stone's grain and an incredible amount of foresight. As the rough form emerges from the block, the sculptor switches to a variety of different chisels for more detailed shaping. There's the toothed chisel or claw chisel, which has multiple points on its edge. This tool is used to further refine the shape and even out the planes created by the point chisel. It rakes across the surface, creating parallel grooves and allowing the artist to model the form more precisely, defining the major muscle groups, the flow of drapery, and the general contours of the figure. Think of it like using a coarser grade sandpaper before moving to a finer one. Each stage removes the marks of the previous tool, bringing the sculpture one step closer to its final form. After the claw chisel, the artist moves to flat chisels. These are used to smooth out the surfaces, removing the grooves left by the toothed chisel and beginning to define the finer details. This is where the true artistry starts to shine through. The subtle curves of a cheek, the gentle fold of a garment, the tension in a muscle. All of these are carefully brought to life with precise, controlled strikes of the mallet on the flat chisel. This stage is less about brute force and more about finesse and a delicate touch. The sculptor is constantly moving around the statue, checking angles, and ensuring the proportions are correct from every viewpoint. Now we're getting to the really fine details. For intricate areas like hair, the delicate edges of eyelids, or the intricate patterns on fabric, sculptors use smaller, more specialized tools. A key tool in this phase is the drill. While modern sculptors have powerful electric drills, ancient Romans developed a highly effective hand-powered bow drill. This allowed them to create deep holes and channels in the stone which was perfect for creating the dramatic shadows and depth seen in curly hair or deeply folded drapery. After drilling, these areas would be further refined with tiny chisels and files, a process that requires immense patience and a rock-steady hand. This is how they achieved that incredible sense of texture and contrast between light and shadow that makes marble statues seem so alive. Once all the carving and detailing are complete, the statue is still not finished. At this point, the surface is still relatively dull and covered in the fine marks of the chisels and files. The final and perhaps most magical stage is polishing. This is what gives marble its famous luminous, translucent quality, which is said to resemble human skin. The process begins with rubbing the statue with rasps and rifflers, which are small, curved files, to smooth out any remaining tool marks. After that, the sculptor begins the laborious process of sanding. Historically, they use sand, emery, or other abrasive stones, gradually working their way from coarser to finer grits. Today, we use sandpaper, but the principle is the same. This process could take weeks or even months of constant patient rubbing. The final polish was often achieved using even finer abrasives, like a stone called tin oxide or a very fine clay-like stone known as tripoli. This was often mixed with water and rubbed onto the surface with a cloth. For an even higher sheen, some sculptors would apply a thin layer of wax, which would fill in any microscopic pores in the stone and create a lustrous, protective finish that would catch the light beautifully. It's this final polishing step that truly transforms the stone. The light is no longer just reflecting off the surface. It seems to penetrate the top layer of the marble, giving it a soft glow from within. This effect, known as subsurface scattering, is what makes a well-polished marble statue look so uncannily lifelike. So, from a rough, billion-year-old block of stone, through a storm of dust and the rhythmic clang of hammer on steel, to the patient, quiet act of polishing, a masterpiece is born. It's a testament not just to the artist's vision, but to their physical endurance, their deep knowledge of materials, and their incredible patience. Every curve, every detail, every polished surface tells a story of skill passed down through generations. The next time you see a marble statue, take a closer look. See if you can spot the faint traces of the journey it took. Appreciate the sheer human effort that went into releasing that beautiful form from its stony prison. It's truly a collaboration between the artist and the stone itself. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the world of marble carving. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about how amazing things are made, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to Who Created It and How. Let us know in the comments what other creative processes you'd like us to explore next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.